for joining us again for another our last morning high five of 2020. It's crazy. But we thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here. We're gonna get right into it. We're looking at Joshua chapter 5, and we're looking at verses 10 through 15. So I'll go ahead and read it, and then we'll take a look at it. So Joshua chapter 5, starting at verse 10, it says, while the people of Israel were encamped at Gilgal, they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month in the evening of the plains of Jericho. And the day after the Passover, on the very day, they ate of the produce of the land, unleavened cakes and parched grain. And the manna ceased the day after they ate of the produce of the land. And there was no longer manna for the people of Israel, but they ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. When Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing before him with his drawn sword in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, are you for us or for our adversaries? And he said, no, but I am the commander of the army of the Lord. Now I have come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshipped and said to him, what does my Lord say to his servant? And the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, take off your sandals from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy. And Joshua did so. So that is Joshua chapter 5, verses 10 through 15.
Right. So one of the things that really fascinated me about this group of verses is verse 13. And so if you try and picture this scene, Joshua is near Jericho. They're about to go to war with Jericho. And he looks up and he sees a man who has his sword drawn. And the Bible says Joshua went to him and said to him, and just that phrase, Joshua went to him and said to him, like this man has his sword out as if he's getting ready to fight Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
But it recalled, or I recall in Joshua chapter 1, when God is commissioning Joshua, he gives him a promise. He lets him know there isn't anyone who's going to be able to stand before you. Like you don't have to worry about an enemy overcoming you, defeating you. Um, no one, I'm not going to give anyone victory over you, you know?
Yeah.
And so you see that all in Joshua's attitude. Like I just, who are you with? Are you for us? Are you about to lose to me? Like, who are you? I just need to identify yourself, basically. He's not afraid. He doesn't run. I mean, I'll put my hand up. I probably would have ran. Like, how did you get in here? I thought we had this whole camp, but someone's getting fired because they're supposed to be watching. And I don't know how you got in here, but you just see the confidence of Joshua in God's promise. Like, I don't need to run from you. I don't, and I'm not threatened. I'm not in a hurry to. We need to fight. I just need to know: are you with us or are you against us? And so that was really interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like his mindset was, are you gonna live or are you gonna die? Like, if you're for us,
Right,
if you're for us, you're gonna live. If you're against us, yeah, you're gonna die.
right, right.
Yeah. For me, it was like kind of right after that. The point that kind of stuck out to me was just once Joshua found out who he was, he said, I am the commander of the army of the Lord. And I just kind of, it stuck out to me like Joshua's response, because Joshua was a leader. Joshua was leading the children of Israel. He was now in charge. But even still being in charge, Joshua knew he was under the Lord. He knew that he still had to obey and listen and move at the commandments of the Lord. And once he said I was a commander of the army of the Lord, Joshua, okay, I'm not in charge anymore. I know I am a leader, but I also know who I am getting instructions from. And I think that's the thing that kind of stuck out to me was, sometimes, we're in positions and we are, leading, but we still have a leader. We still have to hear, and to listen to the commander of the Lord's army, in order to know what's the next steps, in order to know what to do, how to do it. And I think that just kind of stood out to me. Just, his response was immediately like, okay, what do you want? What do you want us to do? What do you want me to do? I know I'm the leader and I'm typically telling them what to do, but because you are the leader of the Lord's army, I need to hear from you. So what do you want me to do? It was a listening and not of, actioning or doing or telling, or, not what he's typically doing. He's typically, giving instructions, telling people what to do. But as soon as he hears the Lord's commander, it's now, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, the roles have changed. I'm not in that leadership role anymore. And I just thought that was kind of good and stuck out to me.
No, you're absolutely right. Like two things. One, he immediately recognized, okay, I'm outranked.
Yeah.
I'm outranked. You are in charge.
Yeah.
But then, like, the degree that he does it, though, like, he doesn't meet with the man like, okay, well, you're a commander, I'm a leader, we're basically equal. Let's talk about the plan. Like, no, the Bible says he falls down on his face and worships, and he calls himself a servant.
Servant.
You
Yeah.
know, like I'm not even. I know. I like to think in my mind we were on the same level, but I know we're not on the same level. So
Right. Like,
yeah,
if you've been sent by the Lord, then you have a lot more information than me.
right,
So
right,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's a great point. Um, the last thing I was gonna bring up was just verse. What is that? Verse 11 and 12,
Yeah.
where it talks about them. They were eating the Passover, and they ate the produce of the land. And then the Bible says that from that point forward, that the manna that they were receiving every day for 40 some years, it stopped. And it didn't come back because that the manna was a provision for a time when they didn't have a land. And so God was providing for them um, supernaturally. He was raining down food for all this time to take care of them. But now he said, no, that was just temporary. I know I was doing it faithfully, I was doing it consistently. You could
Hmm.
count on it. It never missed a day. I understand all that. But that was not, manna is not uh, the the staple food that Israel's going to eat.
Yeah.
Like I have prepared. I wouldn't send you to a land with milk and honey if you were going to eat manna for the rest of your life.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
just it's interesting how God does things. And I
Yeah.
think I mentioned to you, Rich. It's just you know, I didn't want you, I never wanted you to trust the manna. Yeah, like I said, the manna was faithful. I sent it faithfully. I
Yeah.
made sure you had it every day at the right time. You collected it, and I did my part.
Hmm.
But I never wanted you to trust the manna. I wanted you to trust me. And
Right.
so, if I stop the manna, do you still trust me?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And then I think that's a word for itself. Just in the times that we're in, we are in some kind of some uncertain times. Where
mhm,
things that we were depending on, things that we were relying on, are maybe running out, or things are maybe not happening anymore. And
right,
then it comes down to, like, where was the source of what was supplying and giving, making that provision, you know
man, so
and
true.
Yeah, and it just it I kind of looked at that too, and it just made me think about how God sometimes will provide us with provisions, but the provisions are not like permanent. They're not like a lifetime subscription. Like the provision of the manna was to get them to keep them, give them some food, some substance to get them to the place where he wanted them.
Right.
But sometimes people can get so dependent on it, as if now they start to kind of worry, like, oh wait, we don't have manna anymore. Like, what are we gonna eat? Like, what God is, he used manna to get you to a place. God can do things. God can, make provisions to get us to a place. And and
Right.
in that place, He has other provisions already ready. He's
Right.
bringing them into a land that has more than just manna. Because
Right.
too, if you think about, like, they were tired of the manna because they were eating the same thing every day,
Right.
and God is using that to get them to a place where you don't have to eat it every day, But some
Right.
people can now, once it's gone, oh, we don't have, how are we going to survive with no manna? And yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was somebody like, man, I remember how good that man used to be. I sure do miss it.
a good manna sandwich, oh, manna cake.
Yeah, that's people for you. I'm sure at least one person came up to Joshua like, Josh, do you think like maybe you could pray and ask God to send just maybe like it's on the weekend, send manna? Like
Right.
Josh was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Like, anybody got the recipe for manna? No.
Right? And any leftovers? Like, but no, I mean, it really is the point of just, like you said, like some things are not meant to be forever. Some
Yeah.
things, some relationships with people, some.
Hmm.
But I even love how you made the point. Like one of the things I was thinking about that can be when you just think about it, it's a little bit scary if you don't recognize the actual source. The
Yeah.
fact that like right now hospitals are basically full.
Yeah.
Like that's a scary thought
Yeah.
until you recognize, well, wait a minute, like was I really trusting the hospital to heal? Like the healing, the source is God. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to make light of the hospital. Like this, that's the real situation. But at the same time, do I trust God? Like even if the hospital is full, do I trust that God can heal me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's. I was listening to a message, and the preacher was talking about just basically, you know, praying for, and like kind of believing that God will make an exception for us, in the sense of, like, although God may not have done it for you, like, I believe He'll still do it for me.
yeah,
Just not depending on God to do what He's done for others, but just really believing that I'm an exception. Like, God can do it for me, although He may not have done it for anybody else, may not have did it for you. I believe He can do it for me, and I think that attitude, that mindset, is really something we should have right now. We need to have, of just really believing that God can do things for us. God can make provisions for us. Like,
yeah,
although, like I say, other people may be dealing with issues, and the real issues, but just to really believe that God can do it for us. We can be that exception that God can do that for. Um, yeah, it just made me think about that.
nah, absolutely. And just we talked about it in the discipleship sessions, like taking God out of that little box that we want to put him in. Like,
Right.
without the hospital, God can't heal nobody. Like,
Yeah.
God's looking like, that's disrespectful. Like before hospitals, were a thing. I was healing. Like
Yeah,
without the hospital or without me, the hospital is just a place. It's just a building. Like if
exactly.
I don't send healing, like you could be in the hospital long as you want. Like it won't make a
Yeah,
difference. So,
right, right.
but yeah. Um, anything else, Rich?
I think
We
that's pretty
probably
much
keep
it.
going. But,
I know, right?
this is the last one for the year. Yeah, we just keep it. But no, we really appreciate you all. Like, sticking with us. I was thinking about, if you ever listen to KJLH, they talk about thanks for rolling with a brother. Like,
Yeah,
thanks for rolling with, a couple of brothers. We're missing Darnell today, but
yeah,
just thanks for rolling with us. Thanks for participating and giving likes and all that when we're on. So we appreciate you. Um, and if God says the same, we'll be back next Monday in the new year. Um, so yeah, we appreciate you. We hope this inspires you. We hope this encourages you, and we hope that the focus is not us, but the focus is really God and His ability, His power to really keep us and sustain us. So,
yeah,
and that's
definitely.
it.
Definitely. I mean, until I was kind of looking ahead. I'm looking forward to next chapter 6.
Right,
It's
right.
like our story, the story of Joshua has been kind of leading up to this point, and I was looking at it and saw some interesting things in there, so I can't wait to talk about it and discuss it. So
All right, all right.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't want you to miss it. We don't want you to miss it. Chapter 6 is coming up. Please don't miss it. But have a great day. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you again next Monday.